just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 appreciate all that is vacant. It's yours for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring, My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Appreciate all that is vacant. It's yours for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless, I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless, I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment, that's what it's about. Tune in together, we're building our groove. Every beat, every laugh, we're ready to move. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave the troubles behind. This podcast is gold, the treasure you'll find. With every word, we'll light up your day. Join the conversation, let's laugh all the way. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave your troubles behind. This podcast is gold, a treasure you'll find. Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment that
Yo, yo, yo! What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the cafe. It is I, Mr. Dago, and it's great to see you all. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you're all having a great day today. Hope you all had a great night, and it's great to be back with you guys. Great to see you all. Hope everybody's doing good. And you're happy and healthy. So thank you all so much for being here today. I'm sorry we're late today. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I was running quite late. My apologies. So we're having the morning show in the afternoon. So great to be back, guys. Oops, hold on 1 minute. I'm trying to make sure I have everything running. Sorry about that. Come on down. Grab a seat. Please and thank you. All right. Everything seemed to be okay. SRB, thank you. Yes. So far. Although they did put me on an antibiotic and another steroid because the respiratory stuff. Again, tomboy charm. 20 months. That ain't right. They're lying again. You're up over 2 years by now. God, they're such a mess. Anyway, congratulations and happy Dagoversary there, Tomboy. Thank you for being here. Along with Alicia J. Hey, hey. SRBB, BBB, BBBB, B. Summer Thunder, good to see ya. KB, Miss Christina, welcome back to you. Great to see ya. Miss Tandy's in the house again. Good to see you. Ray Knightley, thank you for being here. Where we at? Gianna Gambino, welcome back. Good to see you today. Let's see here. Good Lord. Well, I think because of your little gap there, that's why they're doing that. But Alicia's been here way longer than 6 months, y'all. So big liars, big liars. It is a Friday. Yay. Again, I think Mikey's going to be live tonight with the Last 24 for Felony Fridays. If you guys want to check it out, please do. We'll drop his link in here for that. Thank you, all of y'all. Right, that's what I'm saying. They're liars. They're liars. It's okay. Congrats to you both, Tomboy and Alicia. Happy Dagoversary, and thank you for being part of this community. We love you and appreciate you. 24 peeps in the house, 18 likes. Y'all can do better than that, please, and thank you. Appreciate you. Mark Schumann's in the house. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for them purple hearts for Miss Wisdom. God bless. We appreciate you so much for that. As always in our hearts forever, Miss Wisdom. We love you. There's a link for Mikey's channel. Please go check it out. The last 24 Felony Fridays. I believe tonight him and Stormy will be in there doing what they do. Always a good time. Welcome back, Curious Rose, Miss RN. Good to see you. Thank you for your services and everything you do out there. We appreciate you very much, by the way. And thank you for the heart. And welcome. Give me 1 second, y'all. Come on in, grab. All right. Sorry about that. It was my son calling in. Come on in. Grab a seat. Let's see. You got 34 peeps in the house. 20 likes. It's getting there. Getting there, guys. I probably will be back in here a little bit after this too. I wanted to look into I think it was the May 30th, the 2024 hearing in the Idaho 4 case where Brett Payne goes on the stand and has him up there talking, asking questions. I wanted to review that again because there were some things I had in a video that I'm going to play. I might play it in here. I don't know. Or there. That Brett Payne wasn't the original lead detective in the Idaho 4 case. It took 24 hours before he was put in that position. There was another gentleman that was the actual lead detective. For those of you that may not have known that, and I thought that was interesting. I'm curious as to why'd that happen. So, and I want to look back at Detective Payne's testimony in regards to some things that I have questions about. So, anybody that's interested in joining us for that, please do. I will let you know. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat if you can. Oh, Lord, sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Now the light's working again. I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. Welcome, 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 welcome. I might be doing a music thing tomorrow. Caden asked me about it, so we'll see. This afternoon, if I do it, SRB, I wanted to do it. I was thinking about last night. I was talking to Tandy in the Discord. I said, I think I want to do that. And then I mentioned it again this morning. And Alicia said that she'd be interested too. Are you heading out, Miss Tandy? Okay. Well, wherever you're going, be safe. No. I'm going to do this one. I know it's already 2. I'm going to do this one, and it's going to be probably a little shorter than normal because I'm late. And then I'm going to come right back and do another one. And I'm going to keep them both short. So that's all. Have a good day, Tandy. Be safe out there. Yeah, I can agree that hearing was useless. I want to separate the shows, SRB, so that they're 2 different things. So I'm just going to run it, shut it down, and then run the other one. This is going to be shorter than normal, by the way, you guys, because of the time. I won't be putting in everything that I do normally during these morning shows. It's probably going to be short, just so you guys know. And then I'll bounce into the next one. And that one will be probably 2.5, 3 hours max, and then we'll be done. This will be short, though, just so you guys know. Basically, going to do some updates. Hey, Keely, welcome back, and a couple things, and we're done. So that's all. I'm trying to manage my time in a good way. And if anybody has anything they need to do because we are late, don't worry about it. Go do it. We're good. I can handle this. I'll handle it all. In Stitches in the house. Good to see ya. That's what we're going to be looking at, Stitches, is some of that testimony. I thought it was quite interesting. So just saying. Ms. Leslie and Billy, hello and welcome. Come on in, everybody, please, and thank ya. Let's see here. I had one show I wanted to run, a segment I wanted to run past you guys. The hell? It's about 20 minutes. Hey, Sarge. And just a couple updates, and that's it with this one. We're done. This other situation, though, I've been trying to bring you guys newer stuff going on out there that's just, and it's all been nuts, crazy stuff. Kent, what's going on? This is my time, Kent. I don't need any more time. I'm good. Spending time with you guys is what I need to do, what I choose to do, what I want to do. This is my time. I'm glad being here. Everybody else can do what they need to do. I know everybody's got lives and things they're doing, and I get it. I don't expect everybody to be here. Hey, Dagburn, Johnny Gobble's dead, Floozy Mama. Welcome back. I seen Kent last night. Was in Outcast and said, Dago works 36 hours a day. Not quite that much, but I love doing what I do though, Kent. So it doesn't bother me. I don't have to sleep too much, and we're good. But I appreciate you noticing that. That means something. King Christopher, thank you for joining us. All right, hang on here. That's a good point, Stitches. Very good point. There may not be anything here, guys. Very sadly. Oh, looks like the Chrisleys are getting out of jail. Or at least one of them is for sure. I don't know the other one, but I don't know. Thank you, Kent. God bless, brother. I appreciate you. Oh, yeah. Outcast is the dude. I love him. I'm glad we're getting close to. I appreciate that, dude. I like what he does. So do his mods. Who are we talking about, Alicia? Hang on, y'all. That's what I saw. I thought that's what it was, Rose. I wasn't 100% sure if it was both. I just saw there was a quick look. Welcome, Satirist. I saw that thing that Pubes did. Yes, I saw it. I think it's a little disturbing, but so be it. Yeah, I saw something about that. How long were they actually in? It seems like they just went in this past summer, didn't they? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, you guys. I do have one thing I wanted to check on real quick. I've been trying to keep up with. That way I make sure I get real information. Oh, shoot. Did they give it to me? Did they take it down? What the hell? Hang on. Okay. Oh, wow. It won't come up that way now. Interesting. Guess I just have to go down and look the other way. It's not coming up like it used to. Huh. Okay, so I'm trying to look up on the RCMP's website about Jack and Lily, and that's not coming up like it did. So I don't know if they pulled it or let me see. Nope, it won't give me nothing now when I put their names in there. Before I could put it in, it would bring up that page that had everything. Very weird, very weird, very weird. And the DOJ attorney found 0 discrepancies in their case, like was told no missing 30,000. What are we talking about here? Oh, 2 years. Okay. See, I couldn't remember exactly. Wow. So were they let out early because of that? How long were they supposed to be in there? Got you. I know what you meant now. Sorry, I had to catch up. A little slow sometimes. You guys know better. Oh, okay. Thanks, Lisa. 12 and 20. That's what I thought. I remembered seeing that. And so that makes sense then. Fizzing on in and fizzing out with the rest of the crew in here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the Blue Crew for being here, guys. Appreciate you very much, as always. Very much appreciated. All right, guys. So because they took down, I can't find the RCMP web page like they had up. I'm just going to follow up with Michelle's update on this, see if there's anything new that she found. I think it was a super long sentence. It was a little bit of a too long of a sentence for what they were going. I think that was my opinion, but let's see.
Is he passed a polygraph? Let's discuss. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Friday morning, the 30th of May. It's just about to rain torrentially here, I believe. Look at those clouds. Continuing the case of missing 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, siblings from Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia in Canada. And they were reported missing on May the 2nd. The RCMP have given an update saying that they want dashcam footage from noon on April 28th all the way up to the time after they were reported missing, noon on May the 2nd. Said originally that there was no evidence of an abduction, but as I talked about in my video yesterday, wanting dashcam footage from April 28th, when RCMP have said that the children were alive and well with family members, presumably seen on surveillance, on the afternoon of Thursday, May the 1st. So the only thing I can think is that they are tracking people's movements, looking at all the vehicles that pass by, tracing the vehicles. It's a logging road, so interviewing people who are working around there. And also possibly looking at the movements of the family to and fro, you know, who was around. But they should have appealed for all of this earlier, because, you know, there might be dashcam footage that have been lost in the 4 weeks since Jack and Lily were reported missing. And it is 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks today. Can you believe it? All right, well, Global News have interviewed Daniel Martel, the children's stepdad. He says he's passed a polygraph. So let's go through this news piece.
Welcome, Markel.
2.5 minutes. We'll go through it all, shall we?
Just over a week ago, the road behind me was still swarming with search and rescue personnel as RCMP resumed their ground search for 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, who first went missing 3 weeks ago in Lansdowne Station. Now, this has been a story that has dominated headlines across the country and beyond as people speculate and wonder about what could have happened to these 2 missing children. Now, just because the road is deserted doesn't mean RCMP are finished with their investigation. In fact, they just put out a statement Wednesday calling on the public for more footage.
Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlick Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd to contact Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit.
They add RCMP are committed to exploring all possibilities in the case and have formally interviewed more than 50 people, with more interviews planned in the coming days.
So I've seen comments on social media saying they can't believe that there's an abduction if they're planning on more interviews in the coming days. And I don't necessarily believe that's true, because they could be planning to interview drivers of vehicles that they've traced if more dashcam footage comes in. So 50 interviews is a lot. I think they are putting the work in behind the scenes, and again, I think they've been slow. I think they've been slow on the uptake. A neighbour who lives 3 miles away, someone called Melissa Scott,
Welcome,
was
T20.
contacted by RCMP on May 20th asking for trail cam footage. She has a 40-acre property. They've gone out a fair ways looking for what? Well, I assume suspicious activity. The RCMP are trying. I think they've just put all their eggs in one basket very early and are now catching up on all of the other possibilities that there might have been. Maybe they've got surveillance video from close to the home much sooner, but again, I wish they'd put out that call for dashcam footage much sooner as well.
The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, says he has been interviewed extensively since Lily and Jack were first reported missing. You mentioned last time we chatted that you'd offered to do a polygraph test.
That is correct.
Has that already happened?
That has happened.
Right, and did you get results from that yet?
I do have results, and I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor, we'll say that.
Okay, they were good in my favour, I'll say that. So he passed. I don't know why RCMP wouldn't want him to share the results, but he passed. There's a reason why polygraph tests are not admissible in court. They're not admissible in court for a reason. They're a tool.
Now they need to have Malaya take one. I think she should be mandated to take one at this point. That's my opinion. That would be the children's mother. I truly think she should. That would, in a sense, put both of them in the favorable side of things and then go from there.
They're an investigative tool. But apparently it was Daniel himself who requested a polygraph. So if he passed, you think he'd be shouting it from the rooftops. But maybe he's learnt a lesson and isn't doing as much media these days. Let's just look at the accuracy of polygraph tests real quick. This is from AI, but I do know that this is accurate information. Polygraph tests are estimated to be 80 to 90% accurate in detecting deception. People who are strong advocates for polygraphs say that they're in excess of 90% accuracy, but there's a lot of factors that determine how accurate polygraphs are, both in terms of the polygrapher, the person actually doing the test, and also the subject. There are things that people can do to fool a polygraph. Does Daniel know all about polygraphs and he was able to fool it? I mean, maybe. I mean, look, if you believe that someone's innocent and they pass a polygraph, you know, you go, see, they passed a polygraph. They passed a polygraph, they must be innocent. And then if they pass a polygraph but you believe they're guilty, then you say, well, they're not accurate anyway and it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Tom and Candice Wells passed a polygraph in the Summer Wells case. A lot of people think they're guilty, and I think the parents have something to do with it in Summer's case. I do. I don't necessarily think they murdered her or anything like that, but I do think they know a lot more than what they've said. That's just my current view on the Summer Wells case, but I've gone backwards and forwards and all the ways around in Summer's case over the last 4 years. Chris and Katie Proudfoot and Seth Rogers apparently passed polygraphs in the Sebastian Rogers case. Personally, I don't believe that any of the parents in that case had anything directly to do with Sebastian's disappearance, but Michael Vaughan case, who we know was abducted from Fruitland, Idaho in July of 2021, so coming up for 4 years for Michael as well, his dad failed a polygraph. And we know absolutely that Tyler Vaughan had nothing to do with Michael's disappearance. Cops know that Michael was abducted, and most likely by 4 suspects who they've named publicly. But Tyler Vaughan failed to polygraph. I think probably because he felt so guilty because Michael got out of the house while he was in charge and he was changing the baby's diaper in another room, and Michael just slipped out. And in the few minutes that Michael had gone, neighbours saw him. One neighbour took Michael back to his house. Unfortunately, didn't knock on the door to make Tyler aware that Michael was outside. So it was just one of those fluke occurrences that Michael just happened to be outside while monsters were prowling the neighbourhood. So it does happen. It is thankfully rare, but it does happen. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time, quite literally. So could Jack and Lily have been in the wrong place at the wrong time? Yeah. Is it likely in a really rural area? No. But Michael Vaughan lives in a very quiet neighbourhood. You wouldn't think that if Michael just went to play on his street, that he'd get abducted and never be seen again. But it happened. It absolutely happened. Anyway, back to this. This accuracy can vary depending on various factors. While they are more accurate than chance, they are not foolproof and not always considered reliable by legal and scientific communities. Factors influencing accuracy: the expertise of the examiner. A well-trained examiner can better interpret physiological responses. I think this is a big one. Question phrasing. Clear and unbiased questions are crucial. I think it's not just about being clear and unbiased, it's also about asking the right questions in the first place. So I think that's crucial, and I think a lot of people don't recognise that. Subject state, anxiety, fatigue, or medical conditions can affect results. In Tyler's case, I think he was that guilty.
Welcome, Christy, Nevada. Good to see you today, dear.
He let Michael slip out of the house. I think he blames himself, as probably anybody would, and that comes through in the anxiety that he's feeling when he's answering polygraph questions. Countermeasures: some individuals can use techniques to try and beat the polygraph. Yeah, that's true. Emotional state, anxiety and other emotions can influence results, makes it difficult to discern if a person is lying or simply experiencing normal stress. Why polygraph tests are not always considered reliable. False positives and negatives incorrectly indicate deception or fail to detect it. Not admissible in court, as we know. Focus on deception rather than truth. Again, that's down to the examiner and the questions that are being asked. And the psychological impact. Being subjected to polygraph can be stressful. Okay. People feel pressured to confess. I mean, look, that's the idea behind polygraphs. It's not to know absolutely whether someone's telling the truth or not. It's used as an investigative tool. That if you fail a polygraph, then they're going to go really hard on you in interrogation. And Daniel has been extensively interviewed.
Martel says he is glad the police have put out the additional call for footage and is again asking anyone with information to come forward. Despite not having had contact with the children's mother, Malaya, since May 3rd when she left the search area, he says an RCMP liaison has been assigned to keep them both informed as the investigation progresses.
Okay, that's normal practice, but one of the strangest things in this case is why Malaya left. And it wasn't just that her family were kicked off the property by Daniel's mother. The fact that they were blaming Daniel, initially, all right, okay, emotions boiling over. 4 weeks down the line, Malaya, who was all over Facebook saying that she couldn't live with.
Well, I'm curious to see how Malaya reacts when it comes down to being that Daniel had nothing to do with this. How are you going to feel then? You going to stick with your family that's telling you to get away from him because he had something to do with this? Is that what you're going to say? That's pretty sad.
Without Daniel, has cut all ties with him. If Daniel is truly innocent, he has literally lost everything, including his baby daughter, because he's not allowed to see the baby either. Why? We don't know. Again, it makes you think that there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. So why is Malaya just cut all ties with Daniel? Does she blame him? Was there DV in the relationship? Or is he the nice guy that a lot of people who know him say he is? And Malaya is the one who has some blame on her shoulders. Or maybe he told her that he would look after the kids and that he would get up, and she fell back to sleep and he didn't get up, and she blames him for that. Could be that. Could easily be that.
Trust the RCMP word, and I mean, you don't have to trust my word, but I'm the only one doing media for Jack and Lily, trying to keep the story alive and get them found.
According to RCMP, any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. They say they've covered a 5.5 kilometer search area and received 355 tips so far in the search for Lily and Jack Sullivan. Ella MacDonald, Global News, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia.
I think most people now are believing that Jack and Lily never went in the woods. But where are they? What happened to them? Where are Jack and Lily Sullivan? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
That's it. Where are they, guys? What happened to them? You know, a lot of us have felt from the beginning that Daniel was being honest, you know. And I hey, Sarge, I think that based on what Daniel said, that he last saw Lily, she had her backpack. It sounds to me like they were off to school. And we know that Jack, the younger one, follows Lily wherever she goes. Maybe she was ready to go back to school. She was off for a couple days. Some kids love school, guys. The parents weren't getting up out of bed at that time, and they weren't doing what just, but you know, the morning rituals. So the kids, Lily probably took charge and said, "Hey, let's go. It's time to go to school, bud." Helped him get ready, whatever. I've seen kids do that. Grab the backpack and headed out the driveway like they were supposed to, like they do on a regular basis. And we're standing there. Yeah, the abduction thing is starting to look a little bit more realistic, folks, because they're asking for dash cam now. And they're going back a ways, looking around other people. She was sick she had a cough, Kent, I believe is all it was. So, and the dogs followed their scent to the end of the driveway and it stopped. Maybe they're standing there waiting for the bus. Somebody pulls up and grabbed them. I mean, it can happen, you guys. I didn't think that it was realistic out and where they're at, but I mean, maybe it is. Like I said, there was a failed abduction attempt in April. That wasn't that long ago, okay? Last month. And you know, I just saying, it very well could be that's what happened, or I don't know. I'm still debating on the fact that they could have been taken out of there in another type of vehicle, different situation. But like I said, you know, I whatever option is whatever option, you know. It is what it is. I just want him to be found. I want to know the truth on him. I don't care what happened, how it happened. I want to know the truth. That's all. So. And again, these are just theories, guys. We don't know exactly what went on at this point. I still have questions with the parents. Whether he passed that or not, she still needs to take one, in my opinion. See how that happened. Yeah, she had a cough, Kent, is what they said. Yeah, agreed, Damon. Agreed. And again, my whole problem has always been with this one. Why didn't if you have kids, get your ass up out of bed. If they're up and around, moving around, and be a parent. That's all. That's where I'm laying blame on them, and I have been from the beginning. That's what they should have been doing. That's just me. Especially if they were up for a couple hours and then, you know, they're getting impatient. If they're hyperactive kids and the parents are tired. I mean, I understand you're tired, but you can't do that, you know? You got to get up and get moving with your kids, period. So that's all we got really on this one, guys. And I wanted to hang on here. Let me check something, you guys. Excuse me. Sorry about that. One minute. All right, so Michelle did something else about a week ago that I reviewed it the other night, and I thought this was really interesting. Considering the other cases that we have followed in relation to this case here, okay, Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers, so on and so forth, and I really liked how this was put together, what she had to say. So I wanted to review this and share this with you guys as well, guys. Again, please, if you have not checked out Michelle After Dark, I like a lot of what she does. Please go check out her channel if you will. They had dogs in there initially, SARS, just like regular sniffer dogs. They were talking about cadaver dogs, but they only have a few of them in this country, from my understanding. So I don't know if they were bringing them in or not. I think they should have, but I don't know if they can. But they should have done something with this. You know what I mean? I don't know what the deal is, or maybe they could have got somebody from the States to come across that has, you know, some dogs over here. I don't know. I definitely think they should have brought him in though. But anyway, so Michelle did this video, I think it was Saturday, and it was in regards to Summer and Sebastian and things like that. And I thought it was kind of interesting, so I kind of wanted to share this with you guys before we moved on real quick. So thank you guys again for being here.
4th of May. Over the last 3 weeks, I've been concentrating on this channel. I don't know, a couple of other videos, but in the main, this channel has been focused on the disappearance of 2 little siblings from Nova Scotia in Canada, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, who disappeared under suspicious circumstances. It's day 22 in their disappearance. There's nothing new in Lily and Jack's case to talk about today, so I want to turn my mind back to some of the cases that I'd followed from day one, and they are still unsolved. Both Tennessee cases, completely unrelated, but they are unsolved, and they continue to perplex and confuse people because there's just nothing. No sightings, absolutely nothing. These are the cases of then 5-year-old Summer Wells, who went missing on June 15th, 2021. Summer disappeared from outside of her home in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County in northeast Tennessee. The other case that I've been following since day one in Tennessee, I cover a lot of cases in Tennessee, but it's the case of then 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, now 16. He disappeared from his home in the early morning hours of the 26th of February 2024. That's the outskirts of Hendersonville in Middle Tennessee, not too far away from Nashville. Both cases have been very controversial. Sebastian's case has become an absolute circus, but there's virtually nothing that we've got to go on from law enforcement. Like in Canada, in the case of Lily and Jack, law enforcement have been very tight-lipped, which opens the door for an awful lot of speculation. And in both Summer's case and Sebastian's case, parents and stepdad in Sebastian's case, in the early stages of those cases, were very, very vocal. Don and Candice Wells in Summer's case were a YouTube creator's gift. I've I've got to say it as it is, because Don Wells in particular would go on panels night after night, drunk, even had a poop live on camera. There was a lot to talk about in that, but very little of it was particularly about the disappearance of Summer Wells. We still know very little, but there are some small clues in Summer's case. In Sebastian's case, all of his parents have spoken. His bio dad, Seth, his mother, Katie, and his stepdad, Chris. And his case has been very polarised, two sides, those that support Seth and those that don't. I've stayed completely in the middle on the fence. I don't think any of his parents had any direct involvement in his disappearance, but I am very much in the minority. You either blame Seth or you blame Katie and Chris, and it's just as simple as that. But there have been some minor updates in both cases. So that's what we're going to talk about. Let's go. All right, in Summer's case, a few days ago now, Leslie Earhart, you'll remember her if you followed the case from day one.
My wife and my granddaughter just made me a butter beer, and I'm drinking it in my Marty Moose National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation cup because it's my favorite cup. And this is really good, by the way. It's beyond good. Beyond good. I never had this before. Very, very good.
She's the Public Information Officer for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI, and she was the one who spoke at all the press conferences.
What's up, LL? Good to see you, by the way. Going back to listen to older ones. Found Thou Shalt Not Kill. Happy to see Dago on panel. It actually relaxed me. Didn't realize I get nervous trying out new. It's okay, LL. Good to see you. Butterbeer is something from the Harry Potter shows, Christina. Basically, it's got cream soda, butterscotch pudding, and whipped cream. I think that's what it is. And it's actually really good, guys. It's just a little bit. But yeah, enjoy that stuff, LL. There's plenty of it out there. And I've been on a few different panels, so you'll see me around. But this is really damn good, folks. If you want to try it out, please do. My granddaughter wanted to hurry up and make some. She's going through a phase, and her and my wife made some, and Papa has to have some too. So thank you, and I appreciate it. Very good.
Conferences in those first.
That's what they're doing right now is watching the Harry Potter stuff. Made this. It's oh my God, it's so good.
Couple of weeks
Butter
of her
Bear.
disappearance. And she's given an interview to Times News Online. It's not an interview about Summer, but Summer was mentioned. So I'm going to play that. It's been posted on the Find Summer Wells Facebook group. So I'm going to play this only a minute and a half, and then we'll discuss.
There's really no way to explain, especially if hours and hours and even years of hard work has gone into it.
He's my little angel.
Also, along those same lines, when a case remains unsolved, like for instance the Summer Wells case,
I promise.
that's extremely hard because there's nothing that we want more.
This is all sugar-free. Everything in this is sugar-free. The pudding was sugar-free. The cream soda, it's just like the root beer I drink. That's sugar-free. And the whipped cream, it's all, every bit of it's sugar-free stuff. So, and you wouldn't be able to tell by tasting it, folks. I'm telling you right now. But thank you for worrying about me, Alicia. I appreciate that. Truly. You'd never know this was sugar-free, folks. Damn, it's good, too. Dangerously good.
Than to solve a case, especially involving a child, and it's hard not having the answers, or being close to maybe discovering something, and just knowing that we just need a little bit more information to resolve a certain situation.
That's interesting. Now, you could say that she's talking generally and just
Yes,
giving the
ma'am.
example of Summer Wells because it's an unsolved case. But saying that they're close and they just need a little bit more, I've had that feeling for a long time. A long time. So it's interesting she said that in the same breath as Summer Wells. Does it mean that she's talking specifically about Summer in that comment? No, but it is very interesting. They just need a little bit more.
So there's nothing better than seeing a case solved and seeing justice served. But at the same time, it's also extremely hard.
And seeing justice served. Now, they've said from the beginning that they don't believe. There's no evidence that Summer was abducted. I beg to differ. I think there is evidence that Summer was abducted. The footprints and the scent alerts I've talked about a lot on this channel over the years. The footprints specifically, scent specific search dog found them on the 19th of June, 4 days after Summer disappeared, on 2 different neighbours' properties, close enough to Summer's home for a 5-year-old to have walked to easily. But one footprint in particular was high up on a ridge, and I don't see how a 5-year-old would be able to climb up that ridge, even if she wanted to. What would possess her to, I've no idea, but could she do it, even if she wanted to, without help? And I don't think so. So I don't think she laid that footprint in the days before her disappearance. I think she was abducted by someone local to the area, and I think they walked her away from that scene during that afternoon of June 15th. On the press conference on the 21st of June 2021, Leslie Earhart wouldn't answer a question. Ansley Daniel from WHL asked her a question about what was going on over the weekend. I can't remember her exact words. And Leslie said that they were just following up on a lead. I texted her ages ago now, asking her whether she could confirm whether the footprints were really Summer's. We know they were because a scent-specific search dog alerted on them, actually found them. And the neighbours whose property they were on talked about them very early on. But law enforcement have never confirmed them. Dave Rader from EquiSearch, the search and rescue team, very highly thought of in the area of search and rescue. He came into town on the night of the 19th of June. And on that Sunday morning, 20th of June, when he joined the searchers who'd been at the search the night before and they'd gone into the night searching with lights, they thought that Summer had been abducted, and then the abductor had seen all of the furore that was going on and had dropped her back off in the woods, just as if she was just lost in the woods. They were working into the night to find her, and they truly believed that they would find her that night, but they didn't. Now, whether Summer was abducted and then dropped back off in the woods, I don't know. There's no way to tell. But that was just a working theory that Dave Rader was told about. And I don't think
I think we're going to be going back to Summer, do a revisit on Summer's case here, pretty soon. And just like a whole once over from the beginning up to where we're at now, because it just needs to be refreshed, in my opinion, and talked about just a little bit more than normal. Oh, that sounds awesome, Raquel. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just think it needs to be just a refresh on it, revisit it, cover it beginning to end, and just bring her name back again, because it's just not getting talked about anywhere near as much as it should be. It's been too long, you guys. And just warm it up a little. That's all. I think that's coming up here soon too.
Rader would lie. So if Dave Rader said that, and he did to Police Off the Cuff, the channel Police Off the Cuff, then he was definitely told that. So it was definitely something that those searchers and law enforcement officials there at that time thought was a distinct possibility. But they didn't find her. But law enforcement clearly have more information than we do, because they always do in a case. I really think Summer was abducted. However, I do think that her parents know. I think that there may have been some involvement from the parents, and I've gone backwards and forwards on this, but that's just my opinion.
For those cases where we haven't seen justice served yet.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned Summer Wells, so I did want to ask any updates on that case from your perspective or from the TBI standpoint, or...
Well, I'm glad you asked. It is still an open and active investigation. I think most people think that the case has gone cold, but that's not true. We still have agents working on it constantly. We follow up on any new information that comes in. I can say that we've been following up on information that we've received in the last few months.
So, new information from the last few months in Summer's case. That's interesting, isn't it?
An active investigation, and we will not give up.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear.
It is great to hear. They will not give up. So, if you know, Don and Candice Wells included, if you know who took Summer Wells away from that holler on the afternoon of June 15th, 2021, please speak up. Summer Wells will be 9 years old now, but I don't believe she's still alive. I think she will be forever 5. The least you can do, the very least you can do, is give law enforcement that tip that they need to solve this case and bring whoever did whatever to Summer Wells to justice. Okay, let's move over to Sebastian's case. Regardless of what anybody says, I do think Sebastian left his home on his own. This is from just 8 hours ago, and this is from WKRN. This is an update in the case of Sebastian Rogers. 2 days' time, it will be the 15-month mark that Sebastian has been missing. And also, I will say this is a lot different than Summer's case, because Sebastian, even though he had high-functioning autism, he's almost a man. He was 15 at the time, and I believe he left his home of his own volition. Don't know why. Did he intend to leave forever, or did he just go for a walk and something untoward happened to him? Is it possible he was abducted? Yeah. But I do think he left his home of his own volition. His dad, Seth, has commented. Let's listen.
It has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry is outside the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, where Sebastian's father made an emotional plea today. Caitlin.
Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, was deeply frustrated when he spoke with me. He fears the case is going cold.
My son's been missing for 15 months, and they don't care.
Sebastian disappeared in February last year. He was just 15 years old. Initial search efforts involved local police, the TBI, and the FBI. But those physical searches have since shifted to focus on the investigative side. The last press conference on the case was more than a year ago.
I would love to see them actually conducting more searches. I'd like to have some communication on the tips that have come in just with me, so that I know that when a tip comes in, I'm not following up on what job they're supposed to do.
Seth is involved in this quote-unquote investigation agency, intelligence agency, which is, in my opinion, at night private lack of intelligence. They've got their own tip line related to Dog the Bounty Hunter. Law enforcement are not going to tell Seth Rogers about what they're doing, about their investigative leads that they're following. If he thinks that they are just going to tell him everything, he's wrong, especially given how controversial the case has become. Quite rightly, they're not telling Seth stuff. Everyone's a person of interest. No one's been cleared. Now, they've said that there's no evidence of a crime. Eric Craddock, the sheriff of Sumner County, it's a while ago now. Maybe they've cleared people now and just not told us, but they said no one's been cleared. They're not going to tell him what they're working on. I do agree, though, that more searches would be fantastic. Really would.
Beth says only one detective is actively assigned to the case and that he is often left to chase down the same leads, also sent to law enforcement.
We need more than just one set of eyes on this case, but it all falls on my shoulders to ask people to help find my son. My son means something to me. These people should be doing their job.
In his push for progress, Seth says he's reached out to lawmakers and is even drafting federal legislation aimed at reforming how child protection agencies and the Amber Alert system handle missing children's cases.
It's a federal oversight law on places like CPS, DCS, the Amber Alert, getting it redone, and taking it out of people's hands that don't care about the children.
According to the FBI, an estimated 460,000 children are reported missing in
I'm sorry to
the
say
U.S.
this.
every year. Seth says every one of those cases deserves attention.
I'm sorry to say this, you guys, but there were people involved in this case that did care, that wanted to help. They were all chased away by one specific person, okay? There's been plenty of creators out here that wanted to help that were, about Sebastian. When everybody got involved and made it not about Sebastian is when a lot of us stepped away and said, I can't be involved in that. I'm sorry. I still want Sebastian found. This is very close to my heart, guys. You guys know that have been here with me. But the way that it's been handled on that side is just not been very professional, in my opinion. The people that got involved, what they turned it into, this has nothing to do with this child, guys. It's ridiculous. That's sad. And I feel bad for Seth as a father, okay? But he's made some bad decisions. And anybody that has tried to tell him that or to help him with that has been shunned. He came in here. And we told him. I think Mind of Monsters was in here. And I said, hey, we're here to help. We want to put his name out there. We want this. You need to step away from this guy. And he was gone. Because he's not helping you. He's making things worse. He ran off good people that had real credentials, okay, that were involved and wanted to be involved, and they ran off. That's not what he needs. That's not what he needs. Not at all. I feel bad for him as a parent, as a father. As a person, though, outside of that, he didn't handle this right. I'm sorry, he just didn't. Excuse me. And bashing each other, it's not the way to do this, guys, at all. At all. Okay. Either side of this, in my opinion, there were things that were said from, the Proudfoot side of this too that shouldn't have been done. Either way, it didn't help this guy right here. This is the one that we should be focused on and always should have been. And I tried to be. That's why I stepped away from it. Period. That's all I'm saying. So, again, when it returns to being about Sebastian Rogers, that's what we're about. That's what we're about. That's what we care about, okay? I don't care about who did what to who on which side and who was married to who and who wasn't and who didn't this and that. Well, I don't care. I don't care. I care about this child. And, it's been so long now that I'm starting to have, for the longest time, I had a very for sure feeling that he was still with us. Now I wonder. Okay, I really do. I hate the thought, but I don't know. I just don't know. It does. It does. It always does. It doesn't need to. There should never be sides here. Okay, never ever in a case where you have a child, there should have never been any kind of sides to this. Well, I'm on team this and team that and team that. That's ridiculous. Hey, Paula, good to see you, dear. I'm sorry, but it is. It should be Team Sebastian. End of story. Everybody should work together. Both sets of parents should be working together to find this child, not against each other and going to court for stupid shit. Come on. It just is always bugs. So that's when I step back from it. I'll still look at him. I'll look at updates. I'll put his name out there. I have no problem doing that. I will not be involved in all the other stuff. I just won't.
Attention, including Sebastian's.
A parent demands answers. We demand answers because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
We reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for a statement. They assured us this case remains a top priority and said in part, please know that behind the scenes a tremendous amount of work has been done and will continue. Some aspects of the investigation are not visible to the public due to the sensitive nature of the case. Sebastian's family continues to ask for the community's help. If you know anything about Sebastian's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Those numbers can be found on our website at WKRN.com. Live in Gallatin, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Look, I understand Seth Rogers' passion. Sebastian is his world. I don't have a problem with him having harsh words for law enforcement, but I do think it's unfair. I understand his frustration, but I do think it's unfair to blame Sumner County Sheriff's Office for not having answers at this time. Investigations take a long time, especially if there is a criminal element to them. Is there a criminal element to Sebastian's case that law enforcement know about that we don't? Potentially there is. Is there someone involved who encouraged Sebastian to leave that night? We do not know. But I do believe he left of his own volition. I don't believe his mother or his stepdad or Seth had anything directly to do with Sebastian's disappearance. I felt that from the beginning, and I haven't seen any evidence to the contrary. Jennifer Coffendaffer, ex-FBI agent, who has been speaking a lot on Sebastian's case, and she believed the lights, the lights video put out by Nick Barris, the reporter from News Channel 5 Nashville. She believed that the lights were people abducting Sebastian, or his family taking him away, or whatever it was that these people believe. But even Jennifer Coffendaffer has now accepted what Eric Craddock said way back, and what Seth Rogers himself said way back, that the lights are not relevant. Whether they were the trash truck, as law enforcement told Seth and Chris, or whether there's somebody with a flashlight taking out their own trash early that morning around 5 a.m. And it wasn't 3 a.m. It was 5 a.m. in the 5 o'clock hour. But there are signs that Sebastian left that house on his own. Max, the German Shepherd, was not scent specific, the one who tracking in the construction site and who jumped into the retention pond. But there was a bloodhound on the morning of the 26th of February who followed exactly the same track as a shadowy person 8 hours previous. Is that shadowy person Sebastian? I think it possibly was. But that dog followed exactly the same track and went towards the construction site. Now, did something untoward happen to Sebastian completely accidentally at the construction site? Potentially. Or did someone pick him up from there? Did someone arrange to meet him and pick him up from there? We don't know. But I'm glad that Jennifer Coffendaffer has now come to her senses. This is what she said a couple of days ago.
I don't think law enforcement lied. And Craddock said, point blank, that video wasn't important. And he told Katie and Seth in specificity, please go back and watch that Pascal from March 29th, because we all kind of forget. It's been over a year now. We all kind of forget the facts. And that's why you have to go back and relook and dig. I'm just doubting that that is as significant as we thought.
No, it's not relevant at all. It's not Sebastian in the common area. It is not Sebastian with a flashlight in the common area. Simple as that. So Mob Crew and all of the other people who believe that that's relevant, no. But Jennifer Coffendaffer redeemed herself in that regard, in my opinion, but she still believes that there's foul play. There may well be, but definitely not from his parents. Definitely not, in my humble opinion. All right, guys, let me know what you think about both of these troubling cases in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Thanks again, Michelle. Good stuff. Yeah, Coffendaffer's got a lot more than that to say to redeem herself, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Just saying. So I kind of agree with Michelle. I feel like Sebastian probably did leave. Was he lured by somebody to meet up with somebody there? Maybe, possibly, very possibly. Did somebody else have something going on? Was it a crime of opportunity? I thought that from the beginning a lot, that he went outdoors for something and just right at the right time, somebody grabbed him possibly. I don't know. Yeah, right, Alicia. A whole lot more because she helped the circus. She added one more ring to the 3-ring circus, in my opinion. And for who she is, it's such a mess. She shouldn't be involved like that. Just saying. So anyway. All right, guys, I got another quick story here I wanted to show you guys that really kind of blew my mind as soon as I find it here. Sorry. No, that was in regards to Sebastian and Summer, and then we did Jack and Lily before that. Okay. JC, good to see you, dear. Excuse me. Load up. Come on. Missing kids cases are getting hurt. Yeah. No, they really are. Agreed. That's why I do the basics on them for the most part, as much as I can, and then I have to move on before it turns into that. Sadly, the Jack and Lily situation's really bothering me again because I just don't know what to think. You know what I mean? I don't know what to think because it doesn't make any sense. Just like Sebastian's didn't, and the Summers didn't. You know, none of them make any damn sense. It's weird. There's certain things with Summers that could definitely make sense. And Sebastian, I just don't understand. So, I don't know. So this, excuse me, this next case, hold on to your seat, folks. This is nuts. And I've been seeing a lot of these lately and sadly, there's kids involved. It's nothing, hurting them per se, like physically. Well, in a way it could, but you'll see. It involves their environment, basically. So
trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent content that may not be suitable for all viewers. This video is for 18 plus only. Trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent content.
Sorry about that. Okay. This is something else I'm getting real tired of seeing too, by the way. And we've seen so much of this kind of shit. It's unbelievable. I don't understand how people can live like this and just think it's no big damn deal. So here we go. Once again, hang on to your chairs.
A decomposing goat carcass in a bathtub and an 8-month-old infant. The child's parents were taken into custody, and you won't believe what police say their reaction was when they learned that their child would be taken away. The chief of police said what he saw inside the home was so disgusting that, quote, "In my 30 years of service, I have never encountered such a horrific situation involving unsanitary conditions and such a large number of animals." We're on.
Yeah, they said goat carcass. Decomposing goat carcass, mind you. Sorry.
On the case presented by Law and Crime, I'm Chris Stewart. This is the type of story where you need to read the headline twice because it is so shocking. These are pictures that the Honeypath, South Carolina police sent us of what they found inside a home on May 19th. It is a home filled with animals, feces, and garbage. Some animals are in their cages, like dogs and raccoons. Others seem to be walking freely through the home. In total, police say they found 47 animals, raccoons, chickens, dogs, and cats. Here's one picture they sent us of a raccoon in its cage inside the home. Now, the pictures really hit home, though, for as sensational as all of this is. You look at this picture, and that's a crib inside a messy room, and you can see the garbage that's on the floor alongside that crib. Police say they found an 8-month-old child in this house. That child was taken out of the home by officers, and it is reportedly now in the custody of a family member. Now, not only did police say they found living animals inside the home, they also allegedly found a decomposing goat carcass in a bathtub. Police say they were called to this house in Anderson County, South Carolina, about 3 hours from Atlanta, after they say they had a request from the Department of Social Services that were concerned about the living conditions. And from those pictures, you can certainly see why. Here's a picture of the house per Google Maps. And this picture, what you see on the outside, it looks somewhat well kept, but police say it is likely the house will be considered inhabitable after what they found inside the home. And here are the 2 people who were arrested, who police say are responsible for everything that you see in those pictures. The parents of the infant, Michael Foley and Kayla Renard. Both of them are now facing charges, including unlawfully placing a child at risk or causing harm, and also facing charges related to animal abuse. Now, here's a quote that the local police chief gave a local TV station, WHATRS in South Carolina, about this couple. He said, quote, "Sitting there calm and really no emotion, no facial expressions. You would think that they'd be a little upset that someone was taking their 8-month-old baby, that the police were there and discovered the horrific conditions of this house. You would think that they would have to know that they were in trouble." But apparently, from what the chief is saying, it didn't appear like this couple seemed to recognize the trouble that they were allegedly in. Now, here are some more pictures to help you paint the scene of what this couple was living in, what this child was living in inside the home. You can see on the left side of your screen here, there is the crib that we believe that that child was sleeping in. And at 8 months old, you have to think that the child was also crawling, and you can see just how dirty the floor was. Now, we searched for this couple on social media, and we did find a profile for Kayla Renard, and she presents a very different image online. Here's a picture of her with a dog. Here's another picture of some of her animals that she posted on Facebook. And here's a picture of her and Foley on social media. A collage of pictures with, yes, more animals. Now, this stood out to us on Facebook. This is a post from September of last year where Renard writes, quote, "Says he loves dogs, but him and his girlfriend rescued 4 dogs just for him to dump them, and he tied onto a tree so it had even less of a chance at survival because it could not go find food and water." Now, who she's talking about, it's unclear when you look at that post, but it certainly stood out to us considering everything that we saw in the pictures inside the house. Renard and Foley were both given $10,000 bonds. At the time of this recording, they are not listed as being in custody in the Anderson County, South Carolina jail. Hey, by the way, the stories that we cover here at Law and Crime prove that life can be unpredictable, and having a great attorney matters. And that's where our partner and sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, come in. In the past few months, Morgan & Morgan secured a $9.3 million verdict for a car crash in Florida, a $5.6 million verdict for another car accident victim in Atlanta, not to mention $1.8 million in Kentucky after insurance offered them a mere $5,000 in that case. So even if you don't think your case is worth millions of dollars, why not fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan makes it so easy to file a claim. You can do it with just 8 easy clicks on your phone. So if you're injured and you need to file a claim, go to www.forthepeople.com/OTC. You can also scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description. The local police chief said that the 8-month-old child was put in the care of a relative. The chief told WYFF-TV that the child is okay and was in, quote, pretty good condition for the unsanitary condition of the house. Now, as for the 47 animals that were found in the home, there's a local animal shelter that was called in to help. And the head of that shelter told WYFF that the amount of feces and ammonia in the air of the home made it very difficult to breathe, which also makes you think back to this 8-month-old child and what that child must have been breathing in as they lived in that home. The head of that animal shelter told the TV station as well, she didn't see any bowls of water in the house. Joining us now from South Carolina to talk about this case is Chad Ayers, former sheriff's deputy, also the founder of Proactive Response Group, which focuses on active shooter response. But in this case, Chad, just it's hard to believe 47 animals with this 8-month-old in the house. It's hard to know even where to begin when you read everything that was discovered inside of this home. But first, just this community, Anderson County, South Carolina, where all of this happened, and set the scene for us of Honeypath, South Carolina, and this community.
Sure. Obviously, I'm based out of Greenville, South Carolina. Anderson is winning county over. I mean, I'm 25 minutes from that Honeypath, Belton area. I know it very well. My college roommate grew up in that area, but more of like a farm type town, very rural community. Not a lot of, we're definitely not in a metropolitan type area down there, though it butts up to some larger manufacturing settings, but very kind of desolate. And honestly, like you mentioned, it's embarrassing in a sense that this is in the next county over. Obviously, nowhere is not susceptible to these types of calls or reports, but it's just mind blowing to me. It breaks my heart as a new father myself to imagine an infant living in these types of conditions. I mean, it almost sounds like a scene out of a Deliverance movie or something.
It really is. I mean, 47 animals found in the home: raccoons, rabbits, chickens, dogs, cats. And I had to read this twice. A decomposing goat carcass also found in the home. I mean, in these types of cases, well, I guess first of all, if you've dealt with hoarding cases in the past in your career, I mean, have you ever seen anything like this?
Honestly, this is not, again, anything surprising. I'd venture to say in most law enforcement officers' career, at some time during that career, you're going to deal with a case like this, and it's mind blowing. Obviously, we all have friends or family members who would fit the definition of a hoarder, and that's maybe because of excess magazines or Tupperware containers stacked up in the closet. But having that amount of animals and feces, urine all through the residence, and to put on top of that, like you mentioned, a goat carcass. I mean, come on. It's not giving the upstate of South Carolina a good name or a good rap, but obviously you handle each of them the same way. Obviously throwing an infant or putting a child in the home is a little bit different, but there's resources out there as well of getting people help. I think what happens is this stuff starts to pile on over time.
It may have to be, Gianna, because
and then you just get basically you're underwater or under animals in this case.
It may have to be, Gianna, because the toxicity inside the home may be to the point where it's not livable again unless they gut the house. You know what I mean? So you never know. It very well could be.
And it's too late at that point to do anything. You basically burn the place to the ground.
Right, because I mean, this isn't something that happened overnight where suddenly they had dozens of animals in the home, and then you have a child in the home as well. But what is, I mean, how you spoke to it a little bit of how it just kind of compiles over time, but still, like, how does it get to this point in these cases, whether it's animals, whether it's some of these other hoarding cases that we typically see, where people eventually find themselves in a spot where you have dozens of animals in your house. And it's really not just about the animals and certainly the animal safety, the baby, all of that's really important. Just the health conditions that they must have been living in is hard to imagine.
I think what sticks out to me a lot of times when I dealt with these types of calls, there was obviously substance abuse involved, whether that was, alcohol or drugs. Because at that point, and I'm not saying that has to do with this case whatsoever. I understand there's cases where I think people may say they fall to hard times and they just didn't have any resources, but there's absolutely zero excuse to get to this point where you have a freaking petting zoo in your residence, your trailer, whatever it was in. My question is,
It sounds like they were more worried about and cared about animals, obviously didn't know how to handle them, but cared about them more than children, to be able to put an 8-month-old baby in the middle of all that, no way, no way, no way. Nope. I did the same thing Tomboy did, Gianna. I have a 31-year-old that is mine biologically, a 30-year-old that is my wife's, and then my other 30-year-old is my oldest son, and then we have 3 28-year-olds. She has a set of twins, and then I had my own 28-year-old, and then 19 we had together. So we kind of did yours, mine, and ours. So, but we do have a set of twins, so yes. So, and then I'm working on number 8 for my grandkids right now.
Where was the friends? Where were the families? You can't tell me this. Nobody in 8 months came over to visit your
If
newborn
I would
child.
never change it
You
for the
know,
world, Gianna. I
why
love
didn't
it.
anyone step up to the plate before now? And I don't know. I was unable to find any information on what led police to come out there. I know that they went to go do a welfare check, but you know they're kind of being tight-lipped as to who that was. But obviously, you put a child involved, you put an elderly person involved, these types of living conditions. It's a good way to put, get Chad Ayers
Right,
pretty angry.
Damon.
We're
Not
talking
one.
about the most innocent people that we have, and you can't even provide, basic needs or a basic healthy living condition for this child. It breaks my heart for the kids. Look, if you want to live in a house and destroy it and live in feces and urine and have 40 animals, that's on you. You introduce a child into this or an elderly person that you're supposed to be looking after, well, now you're really going to piss me off.
Well, yeah, because I also think too, I mean, the health conditions, and there was feces in the house, a decomposing, like it's just hard to keep saying, it was a decomposing goat carcass that was found inside the home as well. What are some of the, and I know you're not a doctor, but you've responded to some of these cases. I mean, I think of some of the health concerns you would have in the air, especially for an infant to be breathing that.
Well, like you mentioned, well, one, again, it's still mind blowing to me. Like, at what point in life do you wake up and you're like, "Hey, babe, uh, let's go get a goat and put it in the shower"? This is just strange things here. But anyway, of course, with any type of feces or the strong ammonia in the
Understood,
air from the
Busy.
urine of
Love
these
my large
animals,
family.
but I'm
Look,
more
all
worried
of
about,
you are
the
my
E.
extended
coli
family.
and any
So
type of bacteria. At some point, an 8-month old, if they're not already, they're crawling. So you can imagine what they're crawling through, getting on their hands. And what do kids do? They shove their fingers in their mouth 24/7. Um, but thank God law enforcement stepped up to the plate. Look, Chief Miller is a dear friend of mine, the chief of police down there. Worked with him for many years. Have a lot of respect for Chief Miller. He does a great job. And I'm telling you, he's got a zero tolerance for innocent children or vulnerable adults, being in these types of conditions. So thank God they were able to remove this child and get them into some temporary care where they're in a better living.
thank God this child didn't end up in a worse condition than it was. I mean, it could have been way worse, guys. They have a deceased goat in the bathtub. That tells me that they seem to be neglectful in some ways. Who knows? That child could have been neglected to the point where it didn't survive. You know what I mean? So thank God for
the environment.
Yeah, and I know he's a longtime member of law enforcement and wrote on Facebook that he had never seen anything like this. And I think he said it's 30 years of law enforcement, which is
yes,
saying a
Raquel.
lot.
Thank the Lord.
I think of this community, it's a rural community, and there's just that question of how could this have gone on for so
Exactly,
long,
Fizzy.
even for a child to be brought in, where were the friends? Do you find in more rural communities, and this is not a knock on rural communities or anything like that, but because of people living away from the big cities, that sometimes they can fly under the radar and it can be hard to detect some of these cases?
I don't know if it's that or if it's more of in 2025, we just don't want to get involved in people's business. Friends, family, neighbors. Sometimes I think people think it's safer just to let them live their life. I'm going to live mine. I don't live my life. I don't keep my household in this type of condition, but that's the way they may do it. Again, it's not just two, people living in this house. We have a child in here. That's what brings this thing to a whole new level. I'll be honest. I don't think this would receive the news that it had there not been an infant child in the house. If it's just two people that choose to live in these type of deplorable conditions, all right, you introduce a child in. But again, I think you actually see this whether you're in a rural or more urban type environment, people don't want to get involved in other people's business. But when we have innocent children involved, we have to step up to the plate and report this immediately, because the last thing you would want, I think you would agree, is something ended up happening to this child, and then you noticed it, 5 months ago and didn't say anything. So again, look, it's kind of like we see in the airport all the time. That was the big famous thing from the sex trafficking stuff or human trafficking. If you see something, say something. If it doesn't sit right, makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, probably need to let law enforcement know. There's plenty of anonymous reporting lines out there, to notify law enforcement in situations like this if you don't want your name out there. But the last thing you want is something to happen to an elderly person or a child. And again, it's not like this was just the house is a little dirty. This is disgusting. I wouldn't have even let my own dog into this house, much less a child.
If a child wasn't in the home, would this still be a criminal case? Is it illegal to have, would police prosecute a case or the local district attorney prosecute a case of having 47 animals in your house, even in deplorable conditions and a decomposing goat carcass?
100%. I think the deplorable conditions and a lot would determine on the
That's a good question,
condition
Tizzy. I
of
was
those
kind of wondering
animals.
that
I
too.
think it's very hard, whether it's chickens, cats, dogs, a mixture of everything, including a goat. I think it's going to be very hard to take care in a humane way that many animals. So yes, I don't think it would have mattered. I think law enforcement would have stepped up to the plate, and probably deemed this residence to be incohabitable. Not, you can't even live here. They would have condemned the place immediately in the situations, child or no child, in that type of situation.
And for the child, I mean, what's both of their parents in custody facing serious charges. That child's now in custody of, I believe, the state or the local child services agency. What's the reality for that child going forward?
Yeah, it's a great question. In fact, a lot of times what DSS, our Department of Social Services, will try first is to reach out to a family member. As easy as we can, we want to try to keep them with their families, as we don't want to separate them, from everybody and put them just in a foster home. So if DSS can find a family, they're going to go to that house first, do a background check, make sure those living conditions are a heck of a lot better than they were in. If they deem to where, hey, look, grandma, aunt and uncle, brother, sisters, their place is no better, then yes, they're going to resort putting them into the foster care system where that child's going to be until DSS can get a plan in place for this. I don't know if they were husband or wife or just cohabitating with the child, but they're going to get them on a plan, and there's going to have to be a lot of changes made. Obviously, they won't. That place is getting condemned. But they're going to have to show that, look, we were living in a manner that obviously was disgusting. And we've been here for the last 6 months in our new place. You can see that it is fit for a child. But honestly, with the no reaction from the parents
Right.
when law enforcement interviewed them, it's like, I lost my 8-month-old. I mean, that's the part that's so shocking to me. And then maybe it's because I, have a newborn. But, my heart goes out to that kid. I would do anything for my child, like most, parents would do. And now your 8-month-old has just been basically ripped from you, rightfully so, and you don't care.
Well, I was just going to say, it's also too, like, thinking of, because there were pictures that Chief Miller sent to us, and there's a crib, and you see the crib, and then there's just crates and places where these animals were right near the crib. And it's just, how does the alarm bell not go off if you're a parent in the house of, like, this isn't good for the 8-month-old? And yeah, it was reported that they didn't have really any reaction when they were told, and it was almost as if they didn't realize that any of this was wrong. In hoarding situations that you've seen, and gosh, neglect cases, I think of where there's a child involved. I mean, how often does the parent not just seem to realize what exactly is going on around them? And that's certainly not an excuse for any of it, but just the awareness aspect isn't there.
Well, there's always an excuse on the hoarding issue. I will say that there's always an excuse of, why it's gotten this bad, or hey, it wasn't this bad 2 months ago. There's always some type of excuse on that end. But we've been talking about the health side of this, right? And you see the pictures of the crib next to all these cages. How about like being bit by a raccoon or a rabid animal that's in this house? I mean, we got 40 something animals running through this house, including a dead goat that was probably alive at some point in the house. So where's not the fear or worried about this child being bit and contracting some type of disease or rabies or something like that? But as far as the remorse go, it's all situationally dependent. I've seen some where the parents just break down and lose it. Some are just like, it is what it is, like we saw with this family here. Super sad. My hope, my prayer is that this innocent child winds up in a loving home and in a place where someone shows them, you know, the way they were being raised and the conditions they were being raised is not normal.
Yeah, and
Be safe out there,
it was so
Gianna.
well put, because
Thank
just
you
the
for
fact
joining
that
us.
I mean, the picture is just heartbreaking. You just see this crib and you just think of a child, and I have kids myself, and as them growing up, thinking of that's what was around this child. It's just really hard picture to look at. Not to put you on the spot,
But I think it's important too to realize that there is absolutely no excuse. I don't care, if I don't care if you've lost your job, you've been out of a job since COVID. There's no excuse for living in these types of conditions. My dog's pen outside is a hell of a lot cleaner than this. No excuse. I don't want any comments of you don't know what it's like to be. There's no excuse for this. Period.
No, no, and the pictures speak for themselves, and even I think too, knowing that they were in a rural farming community, they had chickens, they had that, like, it's not, when you look at the pictures and there's crates inside the house, like, that's not a proper place. I'm not a farmer myself, but that's not a proper place to keep animals. To put you on a spot, chat, I mean, is it even legal to have a raccoon as a pet in the house? What is the law? I know that's an on the spot question, but I just think of what they had in the house and what additional charges beyond animal abuse, just the fact that they had so many animals in the house. Like, how do you even get those animals?
I can't answer that. It's funny. I remember doing a story, I don't know, it's probably been 2 or 3 years ago on Sidebar or on Law and Crime with Jesse, where this guy had a pet monkey. And it brought me back to, there was a guy here in the upstate in Greenville that actually had a pet Bengal tiger. He had the correct permitting. He had these special cages, but he would drive down the road and have these giant cage in the back of the pickup truck. And I remember the first time, I never even knew about this guy. There was a call about a guy driving down a major highway. He's got a lion in the back. And I was like, our call taker's got to be on drugs or drunk. Well, sure as heck, I get behind and I'm like, there's a tiger back here. We have people that have exotic animals, very poisonous snakes. As far as raccoons and these types of animals, I am not sure. I can't answer that question. Don't really have much expertise on that. But I do know that there are permits that you can get for certain types of animals, and especially people that do rescues and things like that. 40 various animals in a small residence, that's not going to cut it.
No, and even if they had the permitting, and I'm no expert on that either. I mean, when you just look at the conditions, there's no way that that's how animals are supposed to be kept. Certainly not the way a child is supposed to be taken care of in a home. And hopefully,
sure,
to your point, that child finds a safe and loving home as this case continues forward. Chad Ayers, it's always great to have you on Law and Crime. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Court records state the status of Foley and Renard's cases as pending. That will do it for this episode of On the Case, presented by Law and Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify.
All right, guys. So there's another crazy situation involving animals and children. And it's just, why? I don't understand why. It makes no sense. Angel, welcome. Good to see you, dear. It's just insane to me that it happens like this. It's like every day, folks. There's something every day that we see that's like this, that's going on. What is wrong with people? Like, people's brains are melting or leaking or something anymore. And it's just every day we see something new. And I'm just over it. Because people suck, Alicia. That's the answer. That's it. That's the best answer we can get. People suck. That's it. That's all there is. Okay, guys. So moving on, we do have an update here with the Chrisleys. For those of you guys that are familiar with that situation, I had brought it up a little bit in the beginning. Oh God, he's got almost the same haircut as me. Give me a minute here. About right there is where we're going to get into it from the press conference. Just to give you guys an update on what's going on. For those of you that were interested, they had been sent to jail for some different charges, and now they're out. And here's what's going on. Alicia, really? Oh my God, I love it. I love you.
Let's take a step back and take a look forward. First of all, what were both of your first reactions to the part where you were shocked? And looking forward, tell us, your terms of television, this docuseries, can you tease what it will be like in nature, what the focus will be? Tell us about that.
I mean, when I got the call,
Hey, Mama Bear.
like I said, I was walking into the grocery store and I stopped in the parking lot. I was like, what do I do? I was like, okay, go back to my car. And so I sat in my car and had that phone conversation that's online with President Trump. And I was in such shock. I really didn't know what to say. I started crying. Grayson was with me and we're like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. And I really don't even remember driving home. Like I was in such shock. And
I'll be honest, I didn't think he would make it in jail. I just didn't at all. Knowing I used to watch little bits and pieces of their show from time to time when I was bored. I did not think this dude would make it in jail for one day, 24 hours. I'm surprised he made it as far as he did. I'll just say it that way.
then was able to talk to my parents and tell them what had happened, but it had already kind of spread like wildfire because President Trump's team posted the video and tagged it Trump Knows Best, which, I loved. But it spread like wildfire. And when they called, they're like, is this really real? Oh my, it was so hard to believe that it was actually happening.
I had a staff member that came to me and said, you've just been pardoned. And I just looked at him and he says, no, really, you've been pardoned. It's in the news. And so I walked up to call her and she said, it's true. It's true. So I remember.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of figured he would be Tomboy. I didn't see where he actually was. Or him either. I wasn't sure where she was either, but I kind of figured because of the money and who they were that they would probably end up in a form of a country club. Even there, though, I kind of figured he wouldn't survive because he was just so whiny, I guess you could put it in. He was very particular about certain things and that, and I just I'm like, oh God, how's this guy gonna survive in prison? But hey, there's our Noni. Welcome, Noni. Good to see you, dear. Yeah, Martha was tougher than him, though, in my opinion. When Martha went in, she could handle that. Hell, she hangs out with Snoop. That'll tell you right there. So, I think Martha is tougher than Chrisley is. Truly, he comes off like, I mean, if his feet aren't propped a certain way, you guys have seen this show and seen how he was. So it's comedic. It very much comedic. I agree. So, Club Fed. There you go. Yes. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
I remember walking back from the phone and just feeling numb, not really knowing. And then after about 10 minutes, all I could think about was the guys that I was leaving behind because I had made such wonderful relationships with those men. And when I left that day, there was only 317 men at our camp, but they were lined up shouting when I was walking out. And they were saying, don't leave it, don't forget us, don't forget us. And my commitment is to them that I will never forget them.
And like you said, camp, that'll tell you where he was. If he was in a camp, that tells you he wasn't in no lockdown, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So we had been filming, and we had just wrapped filming.
Actually, from my understanding, there were visits between her and Snoop SRB, so that's kind of funny. That's my understanding, but I could be wrong.
For all intents and purposes, and then we get the call that they had been pardoned, so we picked right back up, and we're excited because I think this new show is going to give, first off, it's going to give people a look into the trial and things that we went through, and we're going to set the record straight, put some documents out there. Alex is on there. But it comes full circle because we go back and then we get to the point where mom and dad are pardoned, and now we move forward with our lives. And I know for me personally, now I get to be a normal 27-year-old, almost 28. And so my goal, it's like we were talking last night, I was like, I'm traveling to 30 countries by the time I turn 30. But going to DC is going to be, I will be there a lot more because now I hope to work with the Federal Bureau of.
So how many of you guys think that they'll have a reality show very quickly now that they're out about what they experienced and how they're going to go on with their life now? I bet they do.
Prisons and Billy Marshall and help them expose the corruption because he has vowed to hold people accountable if there has been abuse and corruption to occur. So I am extremely excited for that, to work with some organizations, put bills in front of Congress, especially for women who are incarcerated. So that's kind of our goal. And then obviously that they've already got all the offers rolling in. So it's.
Now I know they had one. That's why I said, I guarantee you they have one, life after prison or something like that. They're going to have another one for sure. I guarantee it.
It's going to make life so much easier. You'll see him on quite a few different shows, I have a feeling. So one more question and then I think we're.
Can Todd confirm that you will be a part now of the second portion of the series?
We are.
Yeah.
We started filming literally the night that we got home.
As soon as we got home. So
There you go. Like I said, here we go.
I think with this new series, you will see the first time he and mom see each other for the first time.
Let her have this question.
So I understand you're saying you were wrongfully convicted and that information will come out. But my question is, so, it was under the first Trump administration, the investigation happened and the charges. So how can it be political?
Well, if you will look at the individuals that prosecuted this case and that lied to the courts, and these prosecutors are no longer with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Tommy Krepp left and is now at the FDIC. Annalise Peters.
I understand, Noni. I've heard other people make the same statement too, that they're embarrassed of being in the same state as them and things like that. So we'll see. I don't know.
She is now with Meta. You don't go to Meta and give up a career as a prosecutor. That's not what you do. You don't go to the graveyard of the FDIC when you're trying to build a career as a defense attorney. So
I also think it's very important to note that it took 7 years to issue a formal indictment.
Exactly.
So the investigation was going on for almost a decade. And when you look at it, our judge was the youngest African-American female appointed by Obama. So she allowed so many things to come into trial with the Fourth Amendment violations, and magistrate judge ruled that all the evidence must be thrown out because it was obtained illegally. So we don't know if stuff was planted. Mark Braddock was involved. He got full immunity from the government.
Well, isn't this interesting, y'all? Sounds kind of familiar, huh? How about that?
So the whole trial was just messy and tainted. And when the magistrate judge ruled the evidence was not allowed in, the Obama appointed judge said, nope, I don't care. We're allowing it all in.
And with an email that said, we need to catch a big fish. And the response was, well, Todd Chrisleys is the biggest fish in Atlanta right now.
And I think it's also important to note that the Office of Inspector General ruled in our favor in their documents, that in their investigation, that stated, we agree that the Chrisleys were unfairly targeted. We substantiate
due to their celebrity status.
Yes, we substantiate the Chrisleys' claims that they were unfairly targeted. So at the end of the day, I will sit and say, as his daughter, I believe in law and order. If I believe that my parents did exactly what they were accused of doing, then yes, you
have a consequence.
You have a consequence for it. Do I think the consequence should have been 12 years? No, I do not. That's not even a fair sentence if it was true. But I know in my heart of hearts it was not true.
I believe so, Chris.
Prosecutors and so much misconduct, speaking to the judge, having ex parte communications. And
this is in writing.
It is in writing. Alex exposed the emails. So I think at the end of the day, if you want a conviction, then have a clean conviction.
And to go back to your question about it being a Trump administration, it was a Biden administration that the OIG issued the report under that said that we were targeted. Thank you.
All right, guys.
That's it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless.
Thank you.
Better. Oh, Mr. Fuzzy here just had a bath. No, he's all fuzzed out. Look at him. Fluffy, fuzzy. Over here. What's this? You want a treat? You want a treat? How come you won't look over here? Look.
Yeah, hi, baby.
Yeah, he's all fuzzed out. Did you blow dry him? He's all blow dried and fuzzy. Look, say hi. What's happening? What's going on over here? Huh? What's mommy doing? Okay, thank you. All right, you can have him back. He doesn't like being over here too long. Thanks, Victoria. Grayson worked his butt up, blah, blah, blah. So cute. Oh, yes, that's Mr. Alfie. L.A. Trump. L. Trump. It's getting yes. I'll be honest with you. My wife and I watched, like I said, we watched their show here and there. It was funny. It was comedic. It really was. It was entertaining, if nothing else. Backwoods in the house. Good to see you. Punched out early. Got a where are you? Text me on my way home from work. Daughter, see you in an hour. Boulder to Backyard Express. Excited but terrified on why. Uh-oh. Well, hope everything's okay. Hope everything's okay. All right. On we go. Real quick. Let me set something here. 1 minute. Hang on. There you go. Yes, he's nothing but a giant fuzzball. He smells amazing too. We have to, because he's got long hair, we have to wash him. We use, actually, believe it or not, it works really well, Dawn dish soap first. Just to ensure that the fleas stay off of him, because his long hair, they like to jump on him. And then we have this other shampoo that's like got a peach smell to it with a lavender oil base to it. And he smells amazing afterwards. So, and then she blow dries him because he's got so much hair. And yeah. He loves the bath, though. Now, that's the dust mop. Humper, the white one, he hates it. He's so hyperactive, he can't help it. He can't stand sitting still that long. It's crazy. But either way. Where do we go here? Hang on, guys. Sorry. Yeah, it's this time of year, and when your grass gets a little too high, that's why I keep my grass at like golf course length, because they like it, especially out here in the country. All right, guys. So I'm just going to throw some laughs out here for us. And I think that's going to kill it for today with this one. And we'll be ending that and moving on to the other show. So hold on 1 minute here. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on here. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you cry today.
In the old days, people thought that watching too much TV could rot your mind. Well, that might not be true, but appearing on the TV can definitely be enough to give you a mental breakdown.
Can I give you a hug?
No, thanks.
Please?
No, thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Oh.
You may not realize this, but sheep have a deep-seated hatred for microphones. I mean, does anyone in this TV studio know where they're supposed to be? Or is it different every single day just to keep life interesting?
Yes. Send things over to the other camera, to Marcus Bailey, who's tracking some cooler.
We're just doing some laughs.
This reporter was in exactly the right place at exactly the right time.
Literally sinking. Take a look at the ground. This is incredibly scary. Okay, we're backing up. We're backing up.
Or the wrong place, depending on how you look at it.
The road collapsed.
That would
same
suck.
road that we were just standing on seconds ago. So thank God.
The most important piece of knowledge a sports journalist should possess? Knowing where the sprinklers are.
Ik dacht ik moet nog douchen straks. Heerlijk.
Ah, yes, a great place to stand.
Show. It's what? I'm so sorry.
Apparently, she wasn't quite that excited to get involved in the celebrations.
Oh, yeah. Now you're a part of it.
You're part of the team.
Yeah.
I miss you. You guys are the best. I miss these moments.
Okay, who's responsible for buying the chairs for this studio?
Oh, I'm lifting your chair. I thought you were there. I can't believe you did that to me, Charlie. I'm lifting your chair.
Well, I've heard of a mic drop, but a trophy drop doesn't look quite as cool. Ah, a ball. Time to show off my skills to the entire nation.
Só tem o da massa. Que é isso, hein? Que intimidade é essa, papai?
Going in for a kiss is always risky, but it doesn't always end up this badly. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey make a reporter's job very hard indeed.
Oh my gosh!
Inappropriate behavior from a cockroach? Yep, here at Akimbo, we have it all.
Coming to get it.
Oh, God, you can remove it from my breast?
I don't want to fill you up.
Oh, my God.
That wind, PSE&G says there are more than 1,600 customers on Long Island without power tonight. That's going on.
The hat, the umbrella, the microphone may well be next.
You tried your best, Allie. Good work. Stay safe.
Hey, Mom, you're always presenting the news. How about a bit of me time?
Their concern is that they want to have Kurdish, excuse me, my kids are here, live television.
This right here is the kind of guy who never phones in sick to work.
Поливать, поэтому буду говорить максимально быстро. Илья Помазун, и я становлюсь еще мокрее и мокрее. Ну, давай продолжаем свой... Красота. Ну вот, все равно продолжаю свой эфир. В общем, сложно будет ЦСКА.
We've all heard the fake anchor laugh.
Some mornings, man. 5:26. It's too early for that.
When your clown phobia suddenly stares you right in the face.
Wow. That scared me too. Holy cow. Oh my God.
Some people just have a natural ability for scaring people. But sadly, she's not one of them.
Talk to her.
I took my shoes off for this to try to be quiet, and you were ready for it.
Yep, he's got personal boundaries, and he's going to enforce them.
I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
Can I give you a hug?
No, thanks.
Please?
No, thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Oh.
And now it's time for the news delivered via the medium of dance.
Nos dias, a medida provisória que transfere o Conselho de Atividades Financeiras, o COAF, para o Banco Central.
When it comes to embarrassing places to lose your footing, the Oscars red carpet really has to be up there. Her reaction to a giraffe being affectionate is probably why we don't see giraffes being affectionate that often.
Where is this happening? All right, good. What is happening? They always say animals and children
Right?
like TV.
You never know.
Okay, privacy, please.
Are you okay? Reporting next to a beehive. What could go wrong?
This story on our website. Reporting with the bees, I'm Tyler Poglich, CBS 7, First Alert News.
Even when you're on camera, you're not safe from toxic masculinity.
Alguns já chegavam de camisa, obviamente. Sai daqui, ô praga. Eles chegavam divididos e...
A woman who throws herself into her work, quite literally.
For her fun, stand-ups is what we call them in the business. There's a new one, though, to add to our favorite list.
For now, reporting on the trampolines, I'm Hannah Pullman.
A critic, especially this dog.
Судя по всему, связь с нашим корреспондентом прервалась сейчас.
Saved by the bush.
Pretty recently, but it was a couple of hours ago that... Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. Wow, that was a heck of a gut.
He's clearly not a big fan of his work. Look at the anger on that face.
Exotic animals, and you know, they like to be interviewed too as well.
Give me that back! Give me that back! Give me that back!
Huh, you scary little creature.
Well, I suppose it is appropriate attire for a weather presenter.
61 at 6 p.m. tonight. Sun goes down at 6:08, and through the evening, clear. Temperatures do fall into around 6:50. You know, I'm really lonely because right here, high pressure is keeping away all my friends.
I said,
All
what
the
are you
other
doing
clouds
running?
are
And
all
you're saying
gone.
it was really good out?
You
It's the
should
perfect
know how
texture for
tempting it
running.
is to
Just
drive
enjoying
through a
it.
puddle
One
when
thing,
someone's
oops.
standing next to it.
So be careful
That can
when
happen.
you drive through here. Look at that water that the car just whizzed through. You're not supposed to drive through a lot of standing water. Right here, there's no
Lord
avoiding
Lister.
it. But definitely,
That was
slowed down
intentional.
This morning.
What a delicious Thanksgiving dinner this is turning out to be.
I don't really know, Joy.
Okay. Oh no.
That's probably not good, Joy.
Rose, I got your email. I actually showed that yesterday. That same short you sent me. I just showed that yesterday. It is hilarious though. Sorry about the video, guys. It was actually funny. And Christina, I didn't see it yet, dear. I'll look again.
It's angry. So
That's probably not good.
and there you have it.
So, all right, it's okay. There's a solution for everything.
Is there?
if I can smell
How do
that
you
right
fix
now.
this, Joy?
I don't have the
Now
answer
you got to
right
try to
now.
figure out how to get it out of there. Like,
It's okay. It's okay.
To be fair, nobody likes a sausage that tastes like microphone.
His mates weren't willing to explain. Did you realise there's a lockdown?
Can't wait for some of these man. This is going to be good as.
This
Very
is
much so,
Hurricane Ida,
Rose.
and this is what it can do.
Chuck, right now, we are looking at imminent landfall of this storm. Winds of 150 miles per hour are right now forecast, but we expect landfall in the next couple of hours.
This is precisely why teachers used to tell us not to lean back in our chairs.
Це Swanky Tune з треком Dell. Незрівнянні відчуття під трек Дело продовжує.
A good entrance is important. In other words, the opposite to this one.
For the 11th. Sorry about that. For the 11th straight year, property owners are getting a tax break.
I bet he doesn't remember anything like this being described in his employment contract.
Looks like Steve's having a bit of trouble over there. You all right, Steve?
Nothing is worse, literally nothing, than a badly timed handshake.
Thank you very much for your time. And we're going to send it back to the desk right now. All right, look at me. Shake my hand. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to leave you hanging.
This is your initiation ritual if you want to be a gym bro.
Work out all day, and obviously I'm an ex-athlete myself, but I'm never going to be able to be as fast as those guys, am I?
Oh, certainly you can build on it, Lee, but...
What's wrong with just standing in front of the camera? Why do these reporters do it to themselves? Because our bosses force us to.
Of course I caved over, but it's all in good. Toboggans back
Can we go back to her? We got to go back to her. She's okay. You okay, Karina? I think she's embarrassed.
She is okay.
A spectacular wipeout. And it's so much more satisfying in slow motion.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for those. I hope you got a couple little smiles going there, guys, before you left today. Like I said, I'm shutting this down. Give me just, let's see, it's 4 o'clock now, maybe 30 minutes, and I'll have this set up and rolling into the next show. And we'll jump in there for a couple hours and get that out the way. Thank you guys for joining us today. Mods, thank you for everything you do. Always. You never been any better, guys. I love this community so very much. I appreciate you all so very much. And I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other, folks, just in case I don't see you here in a little bit. And don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people. God bless. Much love to every one of you. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Life's a journey, let's make every moment shine. Together we share, our hearts so intertwined. Each time you tune in, we're dancing in sync. With every story told, just let your soul think. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. So gather round friends, it's time to reflect. In this joyful moment, what's next to connect? Let's cherish the laughter, the joy that we spread. Together we'll thrive until our hearts are fed. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with all of you. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. So gather round friends, It's time to reflect in this joyful moment. What's next to connect? Let's cherish the laughter, the joy that we spread. Together we'll thrive until our hearts are fed. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with all of you. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with